player to get in the locker room. Green Bay was on the field celebrating. I was still sitting on the bench, like looking at the clock. You sure it's no more time? I had to, because I always dreamed of playing in the Super Bowl. And my dream ended with us winning the Super Bowl. So when I was in the Super Bowl and we lost, I'm like, this is not how the dream ends, because we win the Super Bowl that I'm going to play in. So I'm looking at the clock and it's saying 0-0. But in my mind, it's like, no, it's not quite registered. And I was, numb. I'm supposed to win. It's some, so a lot of things go through people's mind. And so with playoff losses hurt more than regular season losses. And they're supposed to hurt more because they mean more. All of them mean something, but this means more. You lose in a preseason game, nobody cares. Nobody remembers that. You lose in a regular season game, oh, we remember that. But there's next week. We'll get them next week. But when you lose in the playoffs, there are no more next weeks. It's over. And when you leave that locker room, when you look around that locker room, next time I come in this locker room, it's going to be some faces, new faces in here. Some guys won't be here next year. Just as, it's just attrition. That happens. And that, and then it hurts even more. Like, not only did we lose, a game, I lost a teammate. You don't necessarily lose friends because friends should be stronger than a football loss. But, I lose that relationship of seeing you every day in the locker room. Because I'm getting different teammates, or a guy's going to retire. Life. So all those things rush through your head. So that's why losing really, really hurts. But the other side of that coin, winning helps. It feels so good. You like swag. You get to the Super Bowl, you got all these swags, and I still have souvenirs, from the Super Bowl. Just a great, 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 feeling, and it should be. So this Saturday, this Monday after the after championship weekend, it hurts. But we're going to talk about more of that on the other side of the break, because that Detroit-San Francisco game, wow. That was another one. But you listen to the Keith Byars Show presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. Go have some Lee's and let's talk on the other side of the break.
It's the Keith Byars Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, right here on Dayton's home of the Buckeyes, 1410 ESPN Radio.
Sick and tired of achy joints? Dread the idea of surgery? You need to call QC Kinetics today. Hey, it's Keith Byars. Listen, the state of healthcare is always changing. The old ideals like steroids and surgery are no longer your only options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative, non-surgical, drug-free treatments that deliver lasting results. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain from arthritis or injury? Don't let this pain keep you from living your best life. QC Kinetics advanced state-of-the-art treatments harness and direct your body's natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. This is a revolutionary approach that can get you long-term relief with no downtime. Make 2024 the year you reclaim your mobility, reclaim your independence, walk and run and play and live without the danger and trauma of surgery. And without harmful drugs, call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 937-936-0325. 937-936-0325.
Looking for sweet heat that's hard to beat? Head to Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken and try the Hot Honey Chicken Sandwich, here for a limited time. This all-new sandwich features our famous hand-breaded, pressure-cooked chicken breast covered in Mike's Hot Honey on a brioche bun. It's the chicken sandwich made sweeter and spicier. Discover the craveable flavor that can only happen when Mike's Hot Honey meets Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. Pick up an irresistible Hot Honey Chicken Sandwich today. Only at Lee's, famous for chicken.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No, we tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our clients' best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly, different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Shop the closeout event now at Lowe's with big savings on the appliances you need now. Lowe's knows home improvement. Shop the closeout event now at Lowe's.
It's the Keith Byars Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, right here on Dayton's home of the Buckeyes, 1410 ESPN Radio.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Keith Byars Radio Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. You can call or text at 937-518-1410, or you can also hit me on your Twitter at KAB41 is my Twitter handle or X handle, however you want to talk about it. But we had, like I said, we're coming. This is championship weekend, post-championship weekend Monday, and we're talking about the games. I didn't get a chance to get into San Francisco and Detroit too much, but I'm going to do so right now. And what points do I want to make out of that? Bad coaching. And this is the first time in a long time where I can, in recent memory, where I can say both teams, the coaches hurt them more than helped them. You know, you get to the championship game in both conferences. You know, that's like where a lot of good things happen for you to get to that point. And when you lose that game, you want to say we lost to a better team. You know, that they got that break. You know, it could have went either way. You know, a whole bunch of things happen, but reasons why a team goes. But you don't want it to be for bad coaching. Now, Detroit, their first half of the game, the score is 24-7. You can't ask for a better script of plays. I mean, you can't draw it up any better for when you say how should this first half go. It went perfect. The first two times Detroit got the ball, went down and scored 14-0. You have 17 points at the half. And on social media, I tweeted, I said, Detroit, you're a 17-point lead with 30 minutes to go. You know, being away from Las Vegas. Only way you don't do it unless you implode, you're going to the Super Bowl. I probably shouldn't have tweeted that because implode they did. Wow. Not only did they blow a 17-point lead, they gave it all up in the third quarter. You gave them 17 unanswered points. And, you know, San Francisco did what we thought they were going to do. They got an earful at halftime. Guys, let's go. Let's start this half. And we got to we get the ball to start the half. We're going to take it down there and score. They did. They got 3 points. And Detroit didn't have any panic in them. Detroit got the ball, drove right back down. They said, man, well, I changed what's been working the whole first half. And the drive stalled out. And it's 4th and 2. And you're up 14 points. Hey, kick the field goal. What did Dan Campbell say? We're going to be aggressive. We're going to kick them in the kneecaps. We're going to keep the pressure on. They go for it. Incomplete pass. Yeah, the ball should have been caught. And, you know, but analytics going to get people fired. You know, it's going to why? Analytics going to keep people out of the Super Bowl. Analytics going to lose you some games you should probably win. But it's in the middle of the third quarter. Detroit goes for 4th and 2. Reynolds drops the ball. And it's like, well, if he'd have called it, you wouldn't be saying that, kid. Yeah, I would. Because it's a 47, 48-yard field goal. And I believe the kicker's going to make it. I mean, he's made it before. And if he makes it, it's a 3-score game again. So all that rah-rah that San Francisco had coming out of the locker room, hey, you still down 17. Instead of being down 17 with 30 minutes to go, you're down 17 with about probably the time, I think it was like 19 minutes to go, like 4 minutes left in the third quarter. No, they don't get it. San Francisco gets it, score a touchdown. That's a 10-point game. I mean, that's a 7-point game. Detroit get the ball back, fumble it, one play, now game's tied with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. Like, just like that, and Justin Kenner and I, we do high school football during the season, and every Friday night we talk about Mo. Who's Mo? As in momentum. We like momentum. All Mo wants to do is ride. He's going to be on your sideline or the other sideline, but he's going to be on the sideline. And so, Detroit, you don't feel the momentum shift. You're the visiting team. The home team, you had them sitting on their hands. Now they're into it. They're engaged. Now the stadium got louder. The players are a little bit more motivated. Not that they need motivation, but now they can believe they can do more. And Detroit imploded. So, Dan Campbell, why would you go for it? Why would you go for 4th and 2 instead of kicking the field goal? And then he does it again. He does it again in the second half in the fourth quarter. He did it again. And they come up snake eyes. What's the final score of the game? 34-31. Dan Campbell left a potential 6 points on the field. And so that is just bad coaching, Dan. And it goes back to late in December, their Detroit Lions on the road against the Dallas Cowboys. I think it was week 16 or 15 or 16. And, they got a chance to kick extra point to tie the game. Dan Campbell said, we're going to go for 2 to take the lead. Penalty on the play. They get it. Hey, lineman didn't report in or wrong lineman. You got to replay the down. Dallas jumps offside. Incomplete pass. Now you got a third opportunity. Kick the extra point. Go to overtime. Kick the extra point. Dan Campbell goes for it on the third attempt, and they don't get it. So instead of Detroit being a number 2 seed in the playoffs, now Detroit is a number 3 seed. Now you're going to sit there and make the same similar mental mistake in the playoffs? In the playoffs? Detroit hasn't been to a championship game since 1957. And I was just spoken early before the break how hard it is to get to the Super Bowl. How hard it is to get to the Super Bowl. And Detroit is one of the 4 teams that's never been to a Super Bowl. This year's this year, next year's next year. It's not guaranteed Detroit going to make the playoffs next year. If you'd asked Cincinnati Bengals fan if they was going to be in the playoffs this year, they'd have said, yes. It's not guaranteed. You're that close to the ring, and you do that. Yes, is Detroit trending upward? Yes. They got a lot of young talent. I think they're going to get even better. But nothing's guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed. And Dan Campbell should know that. So he's got a lot of goodwill built in Detroit. I'm not calling for his job or any of that. Don't take me out of context. But that was a bad coaching game by Dan Campbell. Bad coaching game. So, I mean, it hurts. Justin Kenner, you got a question for me?
Yeah, with that, I am curious your thoughts on this. We're talking about Dan Campbell from a fan perspective. We're talking about Dan Campbell from just a media perspective. But let's say Dan Campbell's your coach, and let's say he's being aggressive on these. Think back to your playing days. Is there a different perception from the players? Are the players mad at him today or in the time? Think back to your playing days. I'm sure there were times like, come on, coach, we could have gone for it there. We should have gone for it there. Come on, we can't be afraid. We got to play. Is there different, fan perspectives, media perspectives, player perspectives? Are they all the same? Is your media perspective the same as back when you were a player? Would you have loved to play for a coach like Dan Campbell, who is selectively aggressive, that's sometimes borderline reckless, if you will?
That's a good question. I've played for coaches like that. I mean, but you learn from, certain mistakes. Like Buddy Ryan, he was the architect of the 46 defense. Mm-hmm. That pressure of the quarterback. He was, nobody did it better. And even those guys on some of those teams, those Eagle teams I played on, after a while, as into not year 1 or year 2, But by year 3 and 4 of the Buddy Ryan era, our defenders like, Buddy, we know it's 3rd and 17. We don't have to blitz. Why are you putting us in dangerous situation? It's 3rd and 17. We can still get our pressure with our 4 or 5 guys. No use to shoot 6 and 7. Don't do that. And, so they got to be smart when you do that. And, and then you got to and part of coaching is putting players in the best position to succeed. Putting them in positions to succeed. That's part of the coaching job. And extending the game. Give your team chances to win the game. You're up by 14, Detroit. On the road in a championship game. You have to make it a 3-score game. But that's something that should be ingrained all season long. Even when, you watch some football, some football games with me, and I always talk about get up 3 scores, get up 3 scores, get up 3 scores. Because once you're up 3, you get up 4. See, you could do it a lot easier on Saturday doing college football. But in the pros, we got 2-point plays in the pros like you do in college. 3 scores is that much more vital because you're up 2 scores, that's 16 points, 2 touchdowns or 2 extra points, which is hard to do in itself. But you go up 3, hey, now they got to get the ball 3 different times, to make it, a 17-point game. 21-point game is even better, but 3 scores is 17 or more. And Dan Campbell passed on that. He's like, why would you do that? If you watch the Kansas City and the Baltimore game, possessions, there weren't that many possessions in the game. The first half, I think both teams had the ball 4 times. You get some long drives, it gets short. In Detroit, the way they controlled that first half and the way they had an opportunity to control the second half, and they just didn't get it done. I mean, the game is broken up in halves. The first half, I always say how we start in each half. All good coaches say the first 6 minutes, we got to establish who we are on both sides of the ball. You look at the Baltimore game, Baltimore got the ball first, they went 3 and out. Kansas City got the ball, long drive, touchdown. That took more than 6, so that was 6 minutes in, over 6 minutes into the game, Kansas City had a lead. The second half, Kansas City got the ball. They didn't score, but they kept Baltimore off balance. They didn't go 3 and out. They didn't go 2, 3. They had about 3, 4 first downs before they punted the ball and gave the ball back to the Baltimore. What Kansas City did, they established their dominance in the first 6 minutes of the second half. You go to the the San Francisco 49ers and Detroit game, how'd that first 6 minutes of the half start? Well, Detroit got the ball, opening drive, had a boom, boom, punch San Francisco in the mouth, touchdown. San Francisco get the ball back, punt. So the first 6 minutes were established of that half. Now you go to the first 6 minutes of the second half of the Detroit 49er game. San Francisco gets the ball to start the second half. Boom, boom, boom. They punch them, get a field goal. Detroit gets the ball, drives down there, and decides to go for it on 4th and 2. They could have, that first 6 minutes and a half, Detroit already had the momentum. San Francisco tried to snatch it, but Detroit had it. All they do is kick the field goal. Now it's 5 or 7 something minutes to go in the third quarter, and Detroit is still up 17 points. But they passed on that opportunity. And now here we are Monday morning, Monday afternoon, talking about what happened in San Francisco to the Detroit Lions. Instead of talking about, can you believe Detroit's going to the Super Bowl, man? Wow, did you see that? That's what it should have. That's what we should be talking about. And, it's 60 minutes in a game, of course. But that old man Mo got on the side of San Francisco, and was like, I still hear Earl Bruce saying it. If you don't talk about momentum, if you don't have it, go get it. And when you get it, keep it. You ride it as long as you can. At best, let's keep momentum in the middle of the field until we can snatch it back on our sideline, because it makes a difference. You watch it on every level, whether any sport. You know, when teams in basketball, they hit 1 3-pointer, hit another one, then they get another turnover. There's a dunk. They're like, wow, timeout, trying to stop momentum. You know, baseball, get a rally hit. He got a single. He got a double. He got a home run. He got hit by a pitch. Hey, stop this. Change the pitcher. You know, you have to understand what momentum is. And, you know, when you're on the road, you know, you got it's just you guys against the world. You've got to keep momentum, and it comes from within. And Dan Campbell lost control of that yesterday. And, you know, you let, you know, ego and pride and sensitivity. Even if Detroit would have gotten those 4th downs, we would still be talking about it on Monday. Be like, can you believe they went for it? Oh, good thing they got it, because they didn't get it. Woo, man, I don't know if that's like the guy that takes the ill-advised 3-pointer. No, it goes in. Ooh, good shot. It's a bad shot, but he got away with it. That's almost equivalent. It's a 3-0 count in baseball. Hey, man, don't swing. We need you on base. You know, we're down by a run. Why are you swinging the 3-0? And so, Dan Campbell, you understand, is preseason football? Well, you can probably do that. It's a preseason game. Who's going to remember? In the regular season, Coach, these games are important. Whether or not we make the playoffs or have a better seed or miss the playoff. Can't do that. I mean, regular season is harder than preseason than in playoffs. Playoff football is harder than regular season football. Yeah, you know, because it means more. Regular season, there's next week. Postseason, there's next year. You cannot lose. And when you lose, you know, it's over. So everything gets amped up even more. I still see myself in the locker room talking to young guys, especially rookies, who's never played in a regular season NFL game. And they've only practiced then preseason. And I'm like, this preseason, wait till next week when the season starts. It goes up a notch. And then it took me 3 years to get to the playoff. I heard about playoff football being harder than regular season football. Like, how? Ugh. I got to the playoffs. I'm like, I see.
You didn't play in the playoffs for the first 2 years?
Yeah, I missed playoffs my first 2 years.
You only had one season under 500.
Correct.
Okay, but it took you 2 years before you played in the playoffs.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So it's so postseason football. I mean, your weaknesses get exposed. Everybody's got weaknesses. Everybody's got strengths, but that got you to the playoffs because you have bigger strengths and weaknesses throughout the course of the regular season. But now that the regular season's over, we're in the postseason. Now we all got strengths and weaknesses. Can I expose your weakness before you can expose mine? And that's what happened.
And yeah, you look at that, you're right. You look at the Lions, their strength all season is what had them the lead for the majority of that game, but their weakness was sometimes their strength is their weakness, their strength being their aggressiveness. Well, their aggressiveness has bailed them out at times. It's also cost them at times. It cost them a chance to get to a Super Bowl. The Ravens, their strength has been their quarterback play and their defense, but their weakness has been their, at times, inconsistent offense where they're not as efficient. And last night, that's what cost the Ravens, and yesterday, that's what cost the Lions. And then the strengths of who the Chiefs and who the Niners are, it's been solid offenses with great defenses all season. The Chiefs, everyone keeps saying, man, it's Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce. It's Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce. Yes, those two are great. But that Chiefs defense, it's the number 2 ranked defense in the NFL. Nobody talks about the Chiefs defense, and they should, because that's why this vulnerable offense of the Chiefs, that's why they have another chance to add more rings to their Super Bowl trophy collection. So we'll see. But yeah, the strengths and weaknesses were highlighted in full force.
The secret sauce for the Kansas City Chiefs is the defense.
Mm-hmm.
That's just like somebody, like the secret, like a barbecue restaurant. Man, that sauce is so good. What's in it? I ain't gonna tell you that. But I make sauce too. But yours got a little bit. I ain't gonna tell you that. Just like your grandmother or your mother, she gonna hold back something from that recipe.
Yeah, my aunt. I come from a Hispanic family.
Right.
I know I don't look Hispanic. I come from a Hispanic family, and my Aunt Elsa, I love her to death, but she has this killer salsa recipe. Okay, everyone loves my Aunt Elsa's salsa, and every time people ask for her recipe, she'll give them a couple little, but there's always something she holds back.
Ingredient that's like, what is that?
Yes.
A little bit more of this and less of that. What am I doing wrong?
I'm one of her favorites. So one time we were doing a cooking video for our high school TV production class. So she invited me over. She was going to show me how to make the salsa so that I can make this recipe on TV for our TV production
Sure.
class. She gave me the full recipe. So there's only 2 people in our family that know the full recipe,
Wow.
my Aunt Elsa and me. So people, sometimes they go over her to get to me. I still will not give them the full recipe. I make it myself. It's this, but there's a couple things I laugh when I hear her tell other people how to make it. I'm like, you forgot A and B, but that's okay. I have A and B. And there's probably a C that I think I have the full recipe and probably still don't, but it's okay. But I know exactly what you're talking about.
And that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. And so, and that one little ingredient is a difference between going to the Super Bowl and not going to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And it's like, what can I do to make this my own? And that is a question that 30 teams are even contemplating right now. What do we got to do to be one of the last 2 teams standing? We did this, great, but what are we missing? And then 2 weeks, it's going to be one team saying, oh, we got everything just right. And the other team is going to be like, well, make a 31 team of us. We're missing something. And that's why football is the number 1 sport, in media. I heard some crazy stat that of the top 100 shows in television last year, football was 96 of NFL. Football was 96 of 100. That's what it's the number 1 spectator sport. But it's so much more to talk about, but we don't have enough time to talk about it all, but we'll talk about it over time. But we got 2 weeks from the Super Bowl. 2 weeks from the Super Bowl.